Hi, hello. If you are here because you saw the thumbnail of me reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, then you're in the right place. I'm not going to talk exactly about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Instead, I'm going to be talking about books that remind me of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So, before I start to talk about the recommendations, what is the Good Girls Guide series about? So, Good Girls Guide to Murder, according to me, you can literally, it is just three books in a series. There is also another prequel, but if you want to, if you are a standalone person, then you can just read the first book and be done with it. The book is about a high school senior who is asked to do like the school project, and for that, she chooses a murder that took place in her small town. And the thing is that she doesn't believe that Sal Singh, the one who has been convicted and like also committed suicide, is like responsible for the murder of Andy Bell. And she kind of sets off like doing her own investigation, and that's to prove Sal's innocence, and that's basically what the book is about. I think the reason behind its popularity is not only because of the way Holly Jackson writes, but also the fact that it's written in mixed media format. So you have got interview transcripts and all that, podcasts, and that's one of the main reason this book is also very unique. So I am going to try to recommend some books with this mixed media format. So the first book that I really want everyone to read is This Book Kills by Ravena Guran. The main reason why I want to recommend this book is because the protagonist is South Asian, like myself, and whenever I have read I pick up any young adult thriller, the protagonist is almost always white. Lately, I have read some protagonists who are people of color, but this, I believe, is the only book I read with South Asian protagonist, and I absolutely loved the way I related to the main character as well. So the main character is a scholarship student in a private school. Jess Chaudhary is our protagonist, and Jess actually also like kind of sort of similar to Pippa, had to write a short story. Like Pippa didn't write a short story, but you know what I mean. Like they both had to do something for their school project. So Jess wrote a short story for her school project, and she wrote like a murder mystery. And the first victim, the exact way the first victim was murdered, that in the same way the Hugh person in the book that I'm talking about was murdered as well. So as like another murder also happens after Hugh, this dude gets murdered. After that, another murder happens, and it also follows the same pattern exactly as Jess wrote. And obviously, not only being South Asian, but also like a scholarship student in a school where like it's literally filled with rich kids. So she's like in danger. And not only because of that, but also the killer sends her a note saying thank you for the inspiration. So who knows, she might be next as well. And I absolutely loved it. I like in midway, I think I did see the twist coming, but it still did not at all deter me from enjoying the book. And like I said, I highly related with Jess, and yeah, that's why I definitely would recommend you check this book out if you liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Moving on, the next book that I want to talk about is Sadie by Courtney Summers. Sadie is a young adult thriller that I highly recommend. It follows, it's told in a podcast format, so which is similar to Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It follows two alternating timelines. In one, you follow Sadie, who's a 19-year-old, and she goes missing in the search of her sister, and this sister is someone who she raised, so she just goes looking after what exactly happened to her. And then in the present, you follow a journalist who has a podcast, and he basically follows follows the trails that Sadie left behind, and he just wants to know what exactly happened to her. The third book on this list is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Yes, this is the author who wrote The Inheritance Games. You can also read, like, I wanted to also include in The Inheritance Games, but I'm going to be totally honest. After reading the first book, I totally lost interest. But I read The Naturals long ago, back when I was in middle school, and I really enjoyed it, despite the fact that it has a love triangle. So The Naturals is basically, imagine if X-Men kids were FBI agents. I mean, they worked in FBI. Yeah, it sounds nuts maybe, but it's true, and it is so good. It's literally so good. I don't know if I would think that it's good if I started reading it now, but to me it was like I couldn't just stop reading it. I would just read it until like the 2 3 a.m. The fourth book on this list would be I Killed Zoe Spanos. This is another, it has a podcast element to it, and it's told in alternating timelines as well, similar to Sadie. So it follows a 16-year-old Anna who is working as a nanny in the Hamptons or somewhere like that, and she eventually like confesses to the murder of Zoe Spanos. And what happens is then in the present, so that was the past, you kind of follow Anna, like she takes you through the events that eventually led her to her confessing to the murder of Zoe Spanos. But keep in mind, in this, Anna is an unreliable narrator, so you do have the unreliable narration aspect to it as well. And so in the present, you follow a teen who hosts this podcast called the Missing Zoe podcast, and she doesn't believe that Anna was telling the truth, that she like killed Zoe. So she kind of sets out like to discover who exactly killed Zoe then, if not Anna, and what happened to Anna and all that. I am not gonna lie, it's not like a 5-star for me, but I do believe that people who love reading mixed media books and enjoy a good young adult thriller would also love reading this book. Next book on this list is Five Total Strangers. Total Strangers follows a Mira who has to go to home because outside like there's a snowstorm, so she can't exactly hitch her ride and there's this group of strangers who offer Mira a ride home. But the thing is that she initially assumes that these four know each other, but it's only after she gets in the car that she realizes that none of them know each other. So including Mira, that's how the title comes to be, Five Total Strangers. I really liked the pacing, which I found similar. I also found it engaging. And yeah, if you do love closed room thrillers, then this is a book that you might end up loving. Yes, there is a mixed media element to it. I totally forgot, my bad. There are like throughout the book you have these creepy ass letters addressed to Mira, and you feel like as you go on reading, you feel like the writer of the letters is in the car with Mira and the others. It is so creepy, and like like I was engaged, and I highly recommend you check out this book. Next book on this list is Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. Cheerleaders follows Monica sister was among this group of cheerleaders. All of them like died. It's like Final Destination style, literally killed off one by one by one, and this happened a couple of years ago. And Monica is not satisfied with the way with the cause of death. I mean, she believes something else is going on, and what happens is that one day she finds like a cell phone in her stepfather's desk, and that's when the mystery kind of starts to unravel. Monica believes that in the small town that they know something that they are not telling, that there's more to it behind, because it like this is just not a freak accident. Something sinister happened behind the death of all these cheerleaders, and she is determined to find out. So the last book that I would recommend to you is The Red Palace by June Hoare. So this is the only historical fiction thriller. All these books that I recommended before were set in contemporary setting. This is set in Joseon in 1700s, I believe, and we follow a young nurse who has this pressure of like proving something to her father, and she like gets a shock of her life when her mentor gets accused of killing four women, and these all four women were murdered in the palace where she works at, and they were all killed in one night. So our protagonist Hyun, she like doesn't believe that her mentor is capable of doing such a thing, so she sets to kind of prove her mentor's innocence. And I absolutely love this author's writing, and if you haven't checked out this author's books, and I highly recommend you do so. And the way June writes is so very immersive, and especially like the setting, the way it kind of married into the whole story. I absolutely like could not pull myself out of the story. It was that good. And there is also a slow burn romance here, so I was literally kicking my feet and giggling. So if you did love A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, or if you didn't and you just want to check out a good young adult mystery that is not set in a contemporary setting, rather in a historical setting, if you don't mind that, then please check it out. I hope you enjoyed my book recommendation video, and if you have any other popular book recs that you want me to use for my next videos, then let me know. I already have the next book in mind, the next popular book that I'm going to base the video off. I'm thinking of The Cruel Prince. But if you have more suggestions for a popular book, and you want me to recommend similar books off of that popular book, then let me know. I will be more than happy to consider your book recs. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.